So, folks, we gotta talk about the adventures of one intergalactic planetary superhero who calls the United Kingdom his home. And of course, I'm talking about Count Binface.
The British people were asked. The British people should be asked again. I suggest there must be another referendum about whether there should be another referendum. Surely that's the thing we can coalesce around. So many people want to pull apart these days. The Scots from the English, the British from the Europeans. Listen, guys, I have seen the size of the asteroid coming your way. You got bigger things to worry about, literally. Did anybody discuss the Irish border during the 2016 referendum? Not at all. And now we see it is the biggest sticking point. I would say this: any checks on the Irish border should be allowed to stay and live there. What have they done wrong? Nothing. Let them stay.
So, this guy's been around for a while. That video you just saw was from 6 years ago. And in 2021, he ran to be the mayor of London. And, you know, I had initially prepped this segment weeks ago because there had been some pretty disgusting news coming out of the UK about their dropping of children who were already on HRT and puberty blockers. And I had started prepping this as just kind of like, oh, look, British politics is a silly place. Look at this guy. He's Count Binface. It's kind of like the vermin supreme of the the British, but something very strange happened, which is that what initially caught my attention was like, oh, this is silly.
Oh my goodness. A man with a bin on his head.
This is from this year.
And it's not the Tory candidate. Looks like something out of Star Wars. Yeah.
Also, Count Binface has upped the production value on his costume year over year, like Dwight Schrute, Recyclon.
Okay. Anyway,
I want you to talk to him.
No, I'm going to hand you back to. Oh, right. Okay.
You want to talk to me?
Yeah, go on then.
Go on then.
Right.
Back to the nation.
Who are you?
My name. What kind of journalist is this? You don't know? Have a look.
I've got my list here.
Burnham.
No, I realise that. Oh, you're Count Binface, yeah?
There you go. You did go to journalism school. Excellent. Yes,
a long time ago.
I beg your pardon?
I said a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh, well, I wouldn't have known.
Why are you standing in this election? Just a stunt?
It's A, because it's happening. B, I was at a loose end. C, because I believe elected mayors should serve out their terms before they're eligible to stand for Parliament.
Oh, you've made a sensible serious political point there.
Well, no, you're supposed to be impartial, mate. So let me carry on. I'm going to rephrase the traffic lights on Liverpool Road. I'll price cap Wigan kebabs at £2. I'll make cyclists who disobey the highway code have to ride unicycles instead. And I will turn HS2 into FFS1 and reroute it.
Not going to swear, are you?
No, I'm perfectly... Although we are past the watershed, but don't worry, I'm a...
No, we don't want you swearing, please.
I promise I won't. I'm a good boy. And no, but I'm going to reroute it through rail executives' homes. I'm going to build at least one affordable house. I mean, I could go on. What's Andy said he's going to do?
Oh, he said lots he's going to do, and he changes his mind from time to time. But anyway, are you going to save your deposit? Probably not.
No, in a word. But if I could beat the Tories or the Lib Dems, that would be quite funny.
Yeah, I suppose they wouldn't find it very funny, though, would they? How many votes do you think you're going to get?
Well, I'd be happy with one.
Do you live in the constituency?
I do tonight.
Well, it sounds as though you don't.
What, do you?
No, of course not. I don't live here, no.
So why should I?
Well, a lot of candidates like to boast that they're local. You're obviously not too concerned about that.
Well, I'm looking at the putative Prime Minister, Nigel Farage. He spends more time in America than in Clacton. So why should...
You don't think Mr. Burnham's the putative Prime Minister, then?
Well, they both putari putatas, that they will be the next PM. But I think at least Andy feels like he's slightly local to the area. But that's something. If I was to win...
He used to be the MP for Leeds, just not very far from here.
Exactly. If I win, I swear...
That's not going to happen.
Well, exactly. So I'm going to say, I swear I'll move to Makerfield if I win.
Okay, all right. I'm sure they'll all be delighted. Well, I'm sure there's other people who want to interview you. Thank you for talking to Sky News.
It's my pleasure. Well interviewed. Well done.
Like, he has an audience there who's like applauding him. It's wild to see.
Some Manchester Evening News. That's proper journalism.
Well, Anna, I think I got the short straw there.
Got a crowd of people watching that. I mean, people were filming you interviewing Count Binface, and I'm afraid for me, you've lost your by-election king crown because you didn't know who he was, and everybody knows who Count Binface is. Let's be honest about it. But he's still there.
Just fucking throwing this reporter under the bus. Like, you lost your credentials, mate. Didn't know who Count Binface was. Didn't go to your first day of journalism school. What?
He won't leave you now. Of course, I don't live in the area, was the mantle. Go on, John.
Yeah.
What do you think about how the other...
I was going to say, I don't normally interview those sort of candidates, but I think you bullied me into doing that. Anyway, I'm going to hand back to you now, Anna. You can continue.
You had a crowd around you.
Your feisty twosome.
It just keeps going. It's so awkward. It's like you couldn't write this better. You couldn't write awkward comedy better than this.
The serious stuff. Yeah, I know. Yes, we'll speak to you later. John Craig, thanks very much indeed. So the news from both the SNP and...
So, that's initially where I was like, okay, silly, haha, look at this guy. He just kind of shows up places with a trash can helmet and talks about being a politician and an intergalactic space hero. And wouldn't you know it, the UK government shut out Hassan so that Hassan wouldn't be able to speak at Oxford Union. And yet...
And I now look to His Intergalactic Majesty, Count Binface, to close the case for the opposition.
Thank you, Louis. Thank you, everyone. So, to fake it till you make it, I am Count Binface, intergalactic space warrior, leader of the Recyclons, aka a fucking bin.
Oh shit, he's the leader of the Recyclons? I'm sorry, is he like an extension of the Dwight Schrute joke?
Unbelievable. And I have naturally been chosen to oppose this motion. Goes without saying. But before I start, I thought I should just do a little bit of housekeeping first, just to show you how important it is that I'm keeping it real. I'm the only one of tonight's speakers who is not using notes. Why? One, because there's zero visibility in this thing and I can't say a fucking word. But two, because I believe in this cause so strongly, and I'm sure you will soon too. Anyway, let's talk about the speech then. So, to fake it till you make it, let's go. So, Brexit. Thank you very much. You probably want a bit more than that, but you know what? I don't actually need to say any more, because that word on its own sums up what has happened to you guys. Fakery has completely screwed your generation. Fakery by liars who knew they were lying, who put their lies on red buses, 350 million lies a week, and it was bought by a bunch of people who are now statistically dead.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing with Count Binface, folks. Dude comes across as a fucking joke, and he knows it, and he is, but then will just occasionally just spit straight fire.
You have got to live with that for probably about 25 years, and none of the politicians are talking about it, because they're scared of the right-wing press, they're faking. But not me. I'm here to tell you as it is. Because look, what's going on this week? It's Manifesto Week, which I'm sure the linguists in the room will know. Comes from the root words manifest, meaning abundantly clear, and meaning nothing whatsoever. The Labour manifesto was released today. It might as well be called Fake It Till You Make It. What are they doing? They're saying absolutely nothing at all because they know they've got a giant poll lead and they're so desperate not to mess it up, they thought, let's just keep our mouths shut. It's Jose Mourinho politics. They're parking the battle bus, guys. It's pathetic. But way worse than that are the Tories. If the Labour manifesto is fake it till you make it, the Tory one is underfunded till you break it. 14 years they've been up to that. But okay, I mean, there's always the Lib Dem manifesto, which is, Ed Davies on a roller coaster. Relatively speaking, quite wise. But the point is, with me, Binface, you get real politics. What do I mean? Yes, I'm an intergalactic space warrior, but I tell it as it is. Because I tell you what, I am also a 3-time candidate for general elections against incumbent British Prime Ministers. And I am a 2-time candidate for London Mayor, and I just thrashed by 4,000 votes the fascist of Britain First, which proves...
Yeah, let's not obfuscate here. This guy has run in so many elections that he is known for his presence at political events. And he's currently has the entire Oxford Union, like college folks, clapping and hooting and hollering for him. And also, he's out there literally running more powerful campaigns than the fascists in England. So, like, dude is actually out there campaigning and, you know, maybe getting some results. That's called foreshadowing.
You don't need to fake it. That was real, baby. And that's just starters. Take a look at my manifesto. Are any of the other parties offering to make water buses take a dip in British rivers to see how they like it? No. Is anyone else suggesting that the Houses of Parliament are fitted with a plank so that any MP that breaks the ministerial code is forced to walk the plank, drink the sewage-infested Thames, and it to be broadcast on all channels, including, yes, Rishi, Sky TV, because that's what I call a live stream. I am telling you that the other parties have no idea how much harm they are doing to you with their fakery. It's about time someone stood up for it. And you know what? It's not just Britain, it's America too. I only have to say one word, Trump. Well, so exactly. Actually, that should have been a lot worse. Hang on, Trump! Yeah, you guys are a bit fascist. I'm about to take you on as well. Anyway, no. Obviously, complete convicted criminal arsehole should not be anywhere near elected office, try to fake an election win, and yet he's still allowed to run for president. The point is, guys, 2024...
His platform was abolishing the Lords. Accept him. And stop selling SAW weapons and buy lasers from Binface. Then Buckethead.
I mean, you know, I'm in favor of abolishing the Lords.
It's the most important year for democracy for about 2,500 Earth years. If you're not careful, it's going to go down a Swanee. You need to be real, and you need to tell the politicians it's real. And on that point, not to be funny for a second, do use your vote. Register and make sure you vote, because they do listen and it matters. Because that is being real. Democracy is under threat like never before. The Russians are after it. The Chinese are after it. We've got to do better. Tonight is our chance to take revenge on the Brexit bastards and all the nefarious forces. Vote against fakery. Tell the world that Oxford cares about what's real. Yes, I do appreciate the irony. It's coming from an alien in a bin. Anyway, I want to be graciously supportive of your arguments, guys, but ultimately they just fall down because there is no alternative. When it comes to fakery or the real thing, tonight is our chance to say there's nothing like the real deal. Thank you very much.
So, that appearance was from about a year ago. And, well, folks, since then, Count Binface has been a bit busy. And this is an article from yesterday. Count Binface, the intergalactic warrior who could upend Britain's strangest election. Because, turns out, folks, he's doing weirdly well. He's doing weirdly well in this election. It's especially funny because this special election was created by Nigel Farage, right? It is in the Clacton-on-Sea constituency. And so there's this special election going. It is instead now a battle between Nigel Farage and Count Binface. I don't know what to say, but there's a very real chance here Nigel Farage and Reform could be defeated in this area. And I don't know what to say.
Binface has kids. I hope they're called wastebasket heads.
But the reason he's looking like he might be able to pull it off is because apparently many of the major parties didn't committed to not fielding any candidates in the election. That just means that it's really Nigel Farage running in this election against Count Binface. A lot of basically the reason Labour and the Lib Dems aren't fielding a candidate in this special election is because they largely view it as a political stunt done by Nigel Farage in order to distract from an investigation into Nigel Farage's finances. But Count Binface, he's a candidate who will enter any and every field if it is in fact funny. And in this particular case, it is, in fact, funny.
I'm here with...
I wanted to play this. This is from 3 weeks ago. Because Count Binface has hilariously now been doing, the media rounds for UK politics. And it's pretty surreal.
Count Binface of the Count Binface Party, who is standing in the Makerfield by-election this week. Hello, Count Binface.
Hello, Meg, and hello, Daily Star readers, and indeed viewers in the multimedia age. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Shining armor, Lord Buckethead.
Indeed. This is all incredible stuff. He's been getting a bunch of press for the Makersfield by-election, right? Which then leads up very nicely into him entering against Nigel Farage here.
Why Makerfield? Why have you decided to stand for election there? What's your connection to the place?
Well, the reason I'm standing in Makerfield is that's where the election's happening.
Right.
So, if I stood in a different area, it wouldn't be much fun right now. And also, everyone is trailing this by-election as being the most important in British history and could well determine the identity of the next Prime Minister. So I say, count me in. I'm having a bit of that. I'm supposed to be the exotic novelty candidate, and I'm sitting here, and genuinely, if the British public were asked who would they rather have as their Prime Minister, Keir Starmer or Count Binface, it's going to be a unanimous victory for Binface. Run that poll, I say.
So, you are from the planet Sigma 9, are you not? How does that compare to Makerfield?
I mean, the gravity's different for starters. We have to be sort of weighed down on the ground, whereas some people in Makerfield have had enough pies in buns that is not a problem. But
now, to be very clear, in the Makerfield by-election, he got 95 votes, approximately 0.2% of the vote, which is not that much of the vote. But it's still very funny. He did come in front of the Monster Raving Loony Party, though, which only got 45
I've loved
votes.
Count Binface for over a decade. I'm glad he's finally getting the recognition he deserves.
He's doing great. And just statistically, he's doing better than the Independent Party, Rejoin EU Party, Libertarian Party, Climate Party, and the Monster Raving Loony Party. So, good for him.
In terms of the wonderful geography of the place, I would say they are equally beautiful. And I'm not just saying that because I'm trying to garner votes between now and Thursday. Not a bit of it. I love every single part of Makerfield, from the Three Sisters racing circuit to Hindley Centre to Ashton in Makerfield and the Liverpool Road, which, as you know from my manifesto, I will rephase the traffic lights on to ease congestion, because that's the only blight on the landscape.
I don't think anybody could argue with that.
They can't.
Turning back to your manifesto,
Yes.
You've said that you will cut my taxes and raise everyone else's. How much tax can I expect to pay?
Yeah, well, let me just clarify that. I will cut your taxes and raise everyone else's. Make that absolutely clear. They're not just yours, Meg. It's for everybody. This is a blanket thing. I will cut your taxes
I'm so glad
and
we
raise...
went from a straight election in Bakersfield to a by-election in Bakersfield. Progress.
Indeed. You know? It's why the progress flag flies over Makersfield.
Everybody else's.
Okay, so how much will I pay?
A reasonable amount, but just less than everyone else.
Okay, and how much will everyone else pay?
A little bit.
Oh my god, you were right. Ego Bomb, she's making eye contact with the bin and not where his actual eyes are. Oh my god.
More than you.
Okay. What do you make of the recent moves to ban under 16s from social media?
Good question. I mean, I would go further. Now, some people might say that under 16s should be banned from smartphones. It's not just the software, because they're not stupid. Whatever you ban them from, another app will pop up like a whack-a-mole and take the place of Snapchat, and you get your VPNs, blah, blah, blah. The thing to do is to actually remove from them the hardware, the phones. But I would go further than that, and instead of some people saying you should ban smartphones from the under 16s, I would ban them, Meg, from the under 61s.
Now that is bold.
It is. I don't believe you or anyone in this building who is under 61 uses your social media in a healthy way, uses your smartphone in a healthy way, and is destroying your one shot at life on this remarkably lovely little planet. And instead of staring at that horrible screen and giving yourself a bad back in the process, why not get rid of them all? Because I'm going to punish the over 61s, don't you worry. The pensions triple lock is going, and I think voting should be capped at 80, because it's not going to matter to them much, right? So, in return, they can have the smartphones, they can have Wordle, they can have whatever they want, and piss away their lives on a screen. Until that point, why not enjoy your lives and, dare I say it, improve the economy?
You've talked about getting rid of the pension triple lock and replacing it with a double lock with a bit of chain on the side.
Yes.
I don't understand.
Well, do you understand the triple lock?
No.
And that's my case.
Okay. You mentioned a few times nationalising Adele.
Yes.
How's that going to work?
It's very simple. The Treasury would have to have a meeting with Miss Adele's record company. They'd come to some agreement. Then the British taxpayer would buy out her contract, so she would become Britain's first national pop star. She hasn't done a record for a while. You know, when she does the next one, it's going to be mega. So get her while the stock's low. Then the record comes out. Boom, bang, a bang, Meg. We are all quids in. And then actual British assets could be making coin for actual British people instead of great big US multinationals. Where's the problem? Where's the problem with that? I don't get it.
Have you spoken to Adele at all?
He's so funny. And the fact that the British press have been forced to take him seriously is so funny. It's so fucking funny.
Not yet.
Okay, let's move on, shall we?
Yes, I think we should.
So you've talked a bit about getting the trains to have working Wi-Fi and also just to work.
Yes.
How do you propose to do that, seeing as so many other people have tried to do that and it just seems to be a curse?
Yeah, but that's a really good question. I would hire electronics experts who know an iota of knowledge about Wi-Fi networks, which is more than the train companies have done so far. They very cleverly got as far as allowing humans to click on the Wi-Fi and say, yes, I would like Wi-Fi, but not going so far as to then actually supply the Wi-Fi. So I just think we just need some humans of moderate intelligence to go that next step and provide some, shall I say it, Wi-Fi.
That would be nice.
It would be nice. It would be nice as well that when you get...
He's winning her over, chat. He's rizzing her. He's rizzing her.
Get on a train, it actually takes you from where you've been to where you'd like to go. It sounds complex, I know, but other countries are able to employ humans to maintain, drive, and manage railways. So I would say try and do a bit of that.
I feel like
guys, if he wins an election in the UK, I'm not very familiar with UK politics or law. But I think the law is that all other British politicians also have to adopt the bit. I think it becomes kind of like the powdered wig, phenomenon across the UK. I think it's like that. If he wins, it's the new head style.
It just doesn't seem realistic.
I don't think that's too much to ask. You might disagree. Let's let the voters decide.
Now, there was something that you wanted me to ask you about, and I don't know whether I have yet.
No, you haven't.
I haven't. What would you like me to ask you about, Count Binface?
It's in my manifesto, Meg. Simply put, why is it Count Binface? I'm asking my own questions here.
I will ask it again if you like.
No, I don't mind asking it myself. Why, Count Binface, in your manifesto, you pledge to move the hand dryer in the Crown and Treaty pub Uxbridge to a more sensible position?
Where would you like to put it?
Slightly further away from the urinal.
I see.
It's a death trap, and as you can see, I believe in this so strongly that I put it in my manifesto in Greater Manchester, just like 2 years ago I put it in my manifesto in Richmond and Northallerton, North Yorkshire, and got my highest ever score.
I see.
308 votes, because the people of North Yorkshire appreciated, just like I am sure the humans of Makerfield will appreciate, that this is a national issue. I am trying to improve the geographical spacing.
Imagine hearing the Right Honourable Binface in the House of Commons law.
Do they have to use his lordly title of Count Binface?
Of public toilet facilities in the process.
Also, Comrade Girl 2018, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs. Appreciate you.
So, have you been following the World Cup?
I have. Very much so, because, I operate on every time zone, so it doesn't bother me in the same way that it must be bothering you humans. I particularly am dismayed by the fact that not only are the matches on late at night for British humans, but that they are adding these hydration breaks, even when it's not hot, which are clearly surreptitious advert breaks for the Americans, to make the matches even longer for poor British viewers. So I would firstly do away with those, unless it's 35 degrees centigrade. Otherwise, they can just carry little bottles with them. Or maybe those tourist hats with little sucky straws. It's still the World Cup. And as much as everybody should be boycotting that horrible Fanta Führer, Mango Mussolini, Donald Trump, even so, it's football. It's the universe's game. And I'm all for England and Scotland doing as well as they can. And Curacao, or however you say it, because I'd never heard of those guys. And I'd like to see them have a bit of a pop. So it's nice to see new kids on the block, just like in Parliament.
Yes. Is there anything you'd like to say directly to the viewers?
Well, thanks for sticking out this far, if you've watched the entire thing. Also, if anybody out there is adept-handed air conditioning, this studio could really do with some, because it's absolutely perishing in here. And, whether you vote in Makerfield or beyond, I hope you will continue to celebrate British democracy while you've got it, because, it's very precious. Celebrate it. Celebrate the fact that anybody can stand, whatever you believe. It's a wonderful thing. And of course, the Daily Star knows better than anybody. Isn't it wonderful as British humans and aliens that you have the right to take the piss?
And unironically better than 90% of US elected officials. Until you understand his horrible past doing intergalactic genocides. But if you ignore that, he's a pretty swell dude. I kid. I have no insider knowledge or insider political knowledge of Count Binface participating in any intergalactic genocides or sitting by silently while allowing them to transpire. But folks, we do have to take a look at something here. This is from July 12th. Somehow, it's a different time in the UK. Britain's back Count Binface in new Clacton by-election poll amid reform donations row. Let's just take a quick look. Do we have the actual poll results here? It's silly here. 1 in 3 British adults, 33%, would rather see Count Binface winning the Clacton by-election, a new poll has shown. Only 21% told YouGov they would like to see Nigel Farage re-elected as MP, while nearly 3 in 4, 74%, said that the Parliamentary Standards Commissioner should be investigating the Reform UK leader. Count Binface is polling a full 12 points better than Nigel Farage.
I mean, we've had presidents commit worse atrocities than these supposed intergalactic genocides, so we can only go up from here.
Oh, Pact, thank you for the $5 super chat. He's winning. He's winning right now. He's winning in the polls. It remains to be seen if people will actually vote for him.
Binface has been crushing it for a while.
Sake Tanuki, thank you for the
bucket on his
the 2 tier 1 subs. I think this is the same. No, this is from before he was Count Binface. You're right. I do know from experience, though, that if I play a John Oliver segment, the Last Week Tonight will claim the footage, even if it's not their footage. But, yes, the OG Count Buckethead, or Lord Buckethead. But he's been doing cool shit for a while. But let's take a look, because now we have footage. We now have footage of his first appearance in British media for the Clacton by-election. Let's take a look at his appearance on LBC here.
We reported on Nigel Farage's decision to resign his seat of Clacton-on-Sea to trigger a by-election.
I've thought about it hard, and I've decided today I will resign as a Member of Parliament for Clacton-on-Sea, thereby forcing a by-election, which should happen, I hope, in short order. No, I've decided that the people of Clacton should be the judges of my actions. This will be a people versus the establishment by-election.
Yeah, but by the way, he's being investigated for around £500,000 being donated to his political party, allegedly illegally. So.
But what I hadn't fully thought through at the time was that with only one candidate standing against him, Count Binface, it is possible that Binface beats Farage. We are, after all, the country which voted to christen a ship Boaty McBoatface. We have a lot...
I will be honest with you. Boaty McBoatface has weighed upon me while thinking about the Lord, the Count Binface election. The Boaty McBoatface votes. I do think that the UK might have a Boaty McBoatface political culture right now, which would in fact allow for the rise of Count Binface, and that bodes poorly for Nigel Farage.
Long tradition of subversive humour, and I don't know, but I wouldn't rule anything out. Anyway, this periodic visitor from another galaxy has policies which may prove popular in Clacton. Nationalising model railways, for instance, and also nationalising Adele. Renaming London Bridge, Phoebe Waller Bridge, and of course, moving the hand dryer in the men's toilet in Uxbridge's Crown and Treaty pub to a more sensible position. He joined me a little earlier. I asked him, had he contemplated the worrying possibility that he might actually win this by-election?
Well, I mean, Andrew, thank you for your...
The fact that they allowed him to call in with the space background is so fucking funny. Oh God, I'll take a look at this in a moment.
Your question. I mean, of course, I've computed every eventuality, and there is a small, a bit like Avengers Endgame. There is a small window of opportunity within which I actually become an MP. That is something which I think the British people would find hilarious. The rest of humanity would find hilarious, and dare I say, I would find hilarious too.
It's true. This is the funniest possible thing that could happen. Nigel Farage being brought low by Count Binface. It would end his career. It's the perfect way to end Nigel Farage's career, by the way. And also wouldn't be completely unprecedented. Like, I don't know if folks remember this, but this is from 16 years ago, chat. This is from 16 years ago. UKIP's Nigel Farage finishes behind Bear Cow and Independent. In the end, he himself was flipped by a candidate championed by a dolphin. What's that about? So, when you go through this, UKIP and a crowd of other independents, there were 11 candidates on the ballot in all, had been seeking to capitalize on a tide of anger surging through Buckingham. Voters were unhappy about being asked to return the Speaker to the Commons unopposed, particularly in Prince's Riceboro, which had been moved into the constituency. They said they felt disenfranchised, but they were also upset about Bear Cow flipping his second home. A man dressed as a dolphin called Flipper campaigned on behalf of independent candidate John Stevens. John Stevens and Flipper came second with 10,331 votes, ahead of Farage with 8,401 votes. So there is a precedent here for Nigel Farage to experience a crushing defeat in third place, because the polling that we have indicates, 31% would coalesce around Count Binface, 33% would coalesce around Count Binface, 21% would coalesce around Nigel Farage. But the overwhelming majority of folks in Clacton want neither of them, meaning that the third place position would once again be Nigel Farage. So history could repeat in a very satisfying way to end Nigel Farage's career, and I, for one, hope that that takes place. All right, let's finish this interview.
And of course, in terms of Nigel Farage's framing of this campaign, you now represent the entire British establishment.
Yes, quite. Well, I've been waiting for this, to be honest with you, Andrew. I mean, where's my invite to the Spectator Summer Party, to the Garrick Club, to Wimbledon Royal Box, to last night at the proms? Because I tell you this, if I am part of the establishment, I'm getting NFI'd to a lot of the good stuff.
Very good. And in terms of your actual policies, I read out a few of them earlier on. What do you think is going to resonate most with the people of Clapton?
Clapton's in London.
I know, I'm a Londoner, sorry.
Well, I'm from Sigma 9 and I get it right. No excuse. But no, I take your point. You've got a lot of places to deal with.
For the people of Clacton, Clapton or anywhere else, what is the signature policy that's going to take you over the line?
Well, this is the thing, you see, Andrew. I mean, I'm not actually on the ballot yet. You know how it works. I need to persuade 10 humans who live in Clacton to nominate me. And indeed, other candidates can do that too. That's the wonder of democracy. And should I get on the ballot, then naturally I will have a fully costed suite of policies that mixes the national and the local. But you can guarantee that I'll be looking at my price capping of 99 flakes at 99 pence. I mean, it's a seaside town. Yeah. That's got to be an easy win, wouldn't you say?
I think so.
My national policies: nationalise Adele, build at least one affordable house, tie nurses' pay to that of ministers, rename...
As you can tell, he's been remarkably consistent with his policy ideas. Like, in a way that should make an established politician blush.
London Bridge after Phoebe Waller.
What does NFI mean? I'm assuming not fucking invited, or no fucking idea.
Bring back CFAX, and of course, move the hand dryer in the gents' toilets at the Crown and Treaty Pub, Uxbridge, to a more sensible position. Because as you can imagine, that's a national issue.
It certainly is. It's one that we've discussed on the show already because it is so important. If you got elected... do you realise that you would not be able to wear your current facial covering? The Commons rules, which I've got in front of me here, are very, very clear, and they forbid face coverings.
Well, I mean, the Commons rules are very clear about what you can do with donations. But that seems to have got all murky, so why can't I?
He's so good at this! Elect Count Binface!
Yeah, see how the line can get tested. I mean, look, if Black Rod can slip in under the guidelines, why can't I? It smacks of double standards, Andrew.
Well, let me just read you, for the sake of clarity, what it actually says. Clothing should demonstrate respect for...
I do think his argument should be that isn't his head. It's just his face. I think that should be his argument.
The house, and uniforms, large slogan-bearing items, and other forms of demonstrative dress are generally not considered in order. I'm just closing my eyes and looking forward to you actually taking the oath.
Well, look, Andrew, I'm not a lawyer, but let's just pick on two words there. Demonstrative. I'm not demonstrative. This is just who I am. I'm a recyclon. It would be binnist of the speaker to attack me for that one. And then you also use the phrase generally. So if there's not wriggle room there, then where is there? I say, bring it on.
And in terms of your allegiance to the king, which you'd have to swear if you became an MP, you come from another galaxy. Would you swear allegiance to Charles III?
Well, I understand you can just cross your fingers now and everything's hunky-dory. Is that right?
It's not right.
I don't know. I'm rooting for this anti-monarchy intergalactic superhero. He's winning me over. This is getting too woke. Yeah.
You know, if Binface tried to appeal to the Clacton-on-Sea furry constituency, he'd basically guarantee his win.
He might genuinely do. He might. Like, I could see him right at home at a furry convention. I bet he would love some tips on how to get some, like, air cooling going on in there.
I don't think it is, but some have done it. It's true. It has been done before. Just coming back to the campaign itself, is there a danger that, for instance, the monster raving loony party stands and splits the anti-Farage vote?
I think more to the point, it would. I think the danger would be Farage, that they would split the reform votes, because they're actually to that side of the political spectrum. And I'm not entirely kidding on that one. So, no, I'm quietly confident. And, like I say, it's democracy. Let the people of Clacton have their say. There'll be plenty of candidates. I doubt it will be a two-horse race. I mean, hey, in this day and age, you might have candidates dressed up as horses. It's fair game.
It's fair game.
See, right there, he'd get the furry vote. He'd get the furry vote right there.
This is all about really how Nigel Farage has funded himself or been funded. Can I therefore ask, serious question, who funds Count Binface?
Good question. Well, Count Binface, principally. I got my old space piggy bank. It's quite, I have to say, I don't want to, do a Penn and Teller here and lift the lid on the election process, but to be an MP, it's actually remarkably affordable. 500 quid to stand for an election. That's a bargain. Do you know how much it is to stand for London Mayor?
I have absolutely no idea.
10 grand.
10 grand.
Earth pounds. So,
that rules me out.
Speaking, but for those ones, I have to crowdfund. And, humans, they drop me the price of 3 affordable croissants, £3, or whatever they can muster. And that's very kind of them. But, I'm not looking for your crypto. I'll let you into a secret, Andrew. I actually did get an email from somebody asking if I wanted to get involved in crypto. I thought, aha, that's what this is all about. I'm not falling for that one.
This could be quite a tight race. And lots of people who would normally vote Conservative.
I love our anti-NFT, anti-crypto, anti-AI bin savior.
Or Labour or Liberal Democrat, but might be anti-reform, will come to you or may come to you. Are you actually going to fight a sort of serious door-by-door, street-by-street campaign in the seat?
No.
You're not?
Well, why should I? I don't have to do that. It's a heat wave, for goodness sake. It's hard enough sitting here talking to you, Andrew. Are you trying to kill me or what?
I'm not trying to kill you, but I am very, very much looking forward to the contest ahead.
We are just truly in bananas territory. And again, this guy he's been this way the entire time, all right? Here's from 2019.
leadership of the Conservative Party which is led to victory in 79 and 83 and again tonight.
I fucking love like the horror music vibe.
Did you say he's been this way the whole time?
Yes. Nope, you're not getting me there.
May I help you?
I will invest in 20,001 new police.
That's right, folks. He got sued into becoming the form he has now. The transition from Lord Buckethead to Count Binface has been a long one. God, I honestly I think Count Binface is a better name. I think it all worked out for the best. Now, of course, we also need to take into account his interview with the BBC.
Now, so far, one of the only few who say they will stand in the Clacton by-election is Count Binface, who was last seen sharing a stage with Andy Burnham at the Makerfield by-election.
Now, I do seem to recall one of you mentioned something about furries, and I can't help but note the figure on the far right edge of this image.
And Count Binface joins us now.
Good morning, your time. Good evening, Sigma 9 time. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Good morning from space. Hello to you. First question, why would an intergalactic space warrior want to stand to be the MP for Clacton?
Why not?
It's a good question. Tell me about your manifesto. What?
Fuck, it's like watching an expert sword fighter. It's like crazy. Why would I not? Why would I not? Are you saying the people of Clacton don't deserve an intergalactic space warrior?
Can you offer the people of Clacton? Have you ever been there?
No, because I understand from the current incumbent that is part of how you do the job. So I deliberately stayed away. Is that how it works? But, if I get the 10 nominations, because, hey, look, there's no guarantee I'm standing for the election, as I'm sure you know. I'm game, but I have to get the signatures from 10 local inhabitants. Otherwise, this is a non-starter. And then, of course, I will tailor my manifesto to the local area as always. But most of my national policies will remain. Building at least one affordable house, nationalising Adele, bring back CFAX, and of course, moving the hand dryer in the gents' toilet in the Crown and Treaty pub Uxbridge to a more sensible position, because as you know, it's a national issue.
Those policies didn't go down too well, did they, with the good people of Makerfield? I believe you got 95 votes at the recent by-election. So how are you hoping to do any better?
What a disgracefully scornful tone. How dare you? 95 actual votes? That's a Dolly Parton. 95, just one shy of a reverse 69, which I scored against Boris in an Uxbridge sports hall in 2019. So I'm cock-a-hoop. I'm over your moon. I'm over my moon. I'm doing very well. I came 7th out of 14. I mean, what more do you want?
What do you say to those other parties who have decided not to field candidates in Clacton?
Well, I mean, that's for them, isn't it, mate? That's democracy. They can choose to run away from my beneficence and magnificence, or maybe they just noticed that Nigel is up to a rather peculiar hissy fit, and they're keeping their powder dry for a sec.
For the day. Here's your cut of my paycheck. Thanks
Thank you.
for making my day more interesting.
Silly Vixen 420, thank you for the $20 super chat, and I hope you have a relaxing evening. Appreciate you.
Second by-election, when of course the parliamentary committee reports. But interesting, you see, the thing is that second election, which would cost 380 grand, will only happen if Nigel wins this one. So if you vote Binface, you save the British taxpayer £380,000 without me doing anything. Stick it in the Ministry of Defence. How'd you like them apples?
Can I ask roughly where you are, how long it's going to take you?
A vote for me is a vote for £380,000 for the people of the UK, which is more money than you would get from Nigel Farage.
To Clacton, and when you're planning to make your first visit, and what you plan to do while you're there.
Yeah, he's just a good value candidate.
Good question. Absolutely. Now we're talking. We're cooking on gas here. I was on my way back to Sigma 9 in my starship, the Alboreto, and I caught wind of what was going on.
The Alboreto. I love this. I want to know his entire backstory. What this guy needs, I don't know, at least like a 200 episode YouTube miniseries about him.
On yesterday, so I did a quick old U-turn, bit like Keir Starmer, did one of those, lovely jubbly, and zoomed back, so I'm approaching the Kuiper belt of your star system, and yeah, I'll be with you in a jiffy.
Would you be up for a head-to-head debate with Nigel Farage?
A tete-a-lid debate. I see what you're saying. Yeah, why not? I'd be up for that. I'd like to understand how you get 5 million Earth pounds in crypto donations, which, if they're completely above board, I think we'd all like some.
I'm not getting the Alboreto reference. It's the name of an Italian, I think an F1 racer.
Some would say he's a good value candidate, but nay, he's a great value candidate.
Indeed. He's a great value candidate, capitalized.
That, so we could ask him how he can enrich our coffers just like his own. And, I think that I'm sure he's got nothing to hide. I'm sure he's not going to do a reverse ferret because it looks like it could be the Binny McBinface election to demonstrate the wonders of democracy.
Even he is he knows what he's about. He knows he's a Bodie McBoatface candidate. He knows it.
Like never before. No, I'm sure he's up for it just as much as I am.
Clearly, Mr. Farage denies any accusations of wrongdoing. Very quickly, Count Binface.
Please, for the love of God, let a Farage Binface debate happen. I need it. I need it. I just need it. I need this in my life. I need this as somebody who experiences this barrage of far right politics. I need to see this intergalactic superhero stand up for us, the working people. I need it in my veins now.
Can you win?
Yeah, this is the idealized form of British politics right here. Exactly.
Probably not, but you know what? It's the taking part that counts. My job is to demonstrate that British democracy is wonderful and unique in the entire cosmos because you can stand for whatever you want. You can stand no matter who you want. You could stand if you want. Come and join me. Why not? Exercise your democratic right. And let's see where it takes me, or indeed you. You might be the next MP for Clacton. Who knows?
I love him. I think he's great. I really hope we don't find out he's racist or something. I hope there's not like a 40-year-old clip of him doing something unspeakable. I hope this isn't another milkshake duck situation. This was for the Makerfield by-election, but if you're in Clacton, you can, pretend it's about you and your area, because he'll bring this exact same energy to the Clacton by-election.
The country's sick of Starmer. He's only in year 2. You voted him in with a crazy landslide, but he didn't know what to do. Now there's fun of Block and West Street. They got out lost your palace cool. They might be better than Farage, but some's anything. Now you know what to do. if you wanna hypnotize your
What?
But boy, you got a friend in Binface. Democracy's in trouble. You all need
Look, it's his ship coming to
sense.
Bakersfield.
I pledged all 99 flake ice creams, but only cost 99 pence. Gonna bring back seatbelts, I'll nationalize it down. They say, tell me aren't you that novelty guy? And I say, I'm the same one this time. Falling for Binface. I'm standing for the people that make me feel. Falling for Binface. It's time to show the bastards how you feel. Put on my rocket shoes and I boarded my plane. Touchdown in a land called Megafield. Make it great again.
Incredible. And you know, or don't. Yeah, exactly. Incredible stuff. I just want to say, I do believe in his message. Any one of you in a democracy can run. And any one of you should run, even if it's just to be a silly little guy, or gal, or non-binary pal. All right? Running in an election, giving people options, it is a great thing, and it inherently challenges power. It is inherently a good act. And you know what? I endorse Count Binface in the Clacton by-election.
If I had a nickel for every time a British person has made a parody of Walking in Memphis that gets stuck in my head, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird it's happened twice.
Indeed, love stuff. Thank you for the $5 $5 dono. I just want to say this is an official endorsement for Count Binface in the Clacton by-election in the UK. I'm not in the UK. I've never been to Clacton, but you know what? I do appreciate a little bit of whimsy in my politics, and I appreciate someone who is just joyfully pro-democracy. And I think that energy needs to be embraced both in the UK and here in the United States. All right? Just a brief update, unrelated to any segments of any kind. Just an update on the hand dryer situation out of the UK. I've uncovered some footage from 2 years ago announcing that there's actually a kind of a treaty in place between Count Binface and the hand dryer at the Count and Treaty. So,
if his father was Carl Jr., was his mom Hardee's?
Yeah, she was. Hard for D's nuts! All right, I couldn't. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. I'm so sorry. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs. Breaking footage of Count Binface.
Hello, Count Binface here, space politician, officially London's 9th choice to be mayor, and candidate to be the next MP for Uxbridge and South Ruislip. And I'm in the constituency of Uxbridge and South Ruislip right now, in the most important place in the entire constituency, maybe the most important place in the entire galaxy. I am sitting in the Crown and Treaty Uxbridge, which is where I promised in my manifesto that I would move the hand dryer in the gents' urinals to a more sensible position.
Okay, that is a very insensible position, though. Like, this is bonkers. This is way too close. If somebody's peeing into this urinal and somebody's washing their hands, like, that's the airflow is like gonna get on somebody's junk. He's right. I had no idea it was this bad.
And that's what brings me to the pub today. Believe it or not, in this very room, in January 1645, King Charles I and the parliamentarians met in order to bring a civil war conflict to an end by the signing of a treaty. Unfortunately, there was a bit of a disagreement, a bit of fisticuffs, it all broke up, and 4 years later, King Charles I ended up with his head lopped clean off. Current King Charlie, take note, careful what you wish for. But nearly 400 years after that key event in this very room, history is about to be righted. Because here, I, Count Binface, on this very day, am going to sign a treaty in the Crown and Treaty with the Crown and Treaty with Deputy Manager Ellie here. And today, we are going to make history. Because if I am elected, the pub and I pledge that we will move the hands dryer to a more sensible position. So get ready, guys. This is where the magic happens.
Finally, some good fucking policy. Gordon Ramsay Gordon, lesser known, more politically inclined brother.
So they've signed a treaty, but apparently he's still running. Now, I want to know what the contents of the treaty is, because we never actually learned what was in there. And I just want to know what happened to the treaty. It's happening. I know. He must be elected in Clacton. He must be elected in the Clacton by-election. He must defeat Nigel Farage. If he is able to do it, perhaps the terms of this treaty may yet be fulfilled. Will the Strait be in Iran's control after Count Binface's treaty? I mean, probably. The treaty is between him and the pub. He said they would move it if he wins. Fuck yeah. Guys, you gotta do it. People in Clacton, the good people of Clacton, UK, all right? Look at this. This is completely unacceptable. This is completely unacceptable. Way too close. It was actually a memorandum of understanding. Oh, that makes more sense. When is the election? I think it is August 9th. I might be off on that. I might be getting my dates mixed up. August 13th. I was getting my dates mixed up. God, Count Binface is so funny.
Now, the interview of the morning. Count Binface has confirmed that he is going to run in the by-election in Clacton if it takes place. This is the by-election that the major parties are saying, as we've heard from them all this morning, they are not going to run in. So who better to talk to about this? Joining us live, Count Binface himself. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Justin. Good morning, today listeners, planet Earth. It is a pleasure to be here.
I should say you are, I can see a video link of you. You appear to be in outer space and wearing your bin.
Well, what else would you expect, mate? You know, I was on my way back home to Sigma 9, bit of R&R, and then old Nigel throws his toys out of the pram, has a hissy fit, calls an unnecessary by-election. I got wind of that. I've turned around the starship pronto. How about that? Lovely.
What is your appeal going to be to the people of Clacton?
Well, I'm not Nigel Farage.
It's a full manifesto.
Yes. So I'm...
Like, this is the thing, right? Like, that is his appeal. His appeal is entirely people who hate Nigel Farage and think it would be pretty funny if he got elected. You know, like, genuinely, he's the only other option in the race. And ending Nigel Farage's career like this would be, frankly, legendary. It'd be so good. It'd be like genuinely the best case scenario.
Assuming from that you are going to be sparse when it comes to policy promises.
How dare you? I've got a full and costed manifesto, Justin. It's just that, you know, I like to tailor it to each constituency. I mean, some of my national policies will remain. I pledge to build at least one affordable house. I will nationalise Adele. I heard your bit about the water, and I'll make water bosses have to take a dip in British rivers to see how they like it. I'll price cap 99 flakes at 99 pence. I think the Clacton folk will like that one. And so it goes on. But if you'd done some research, you'd know that.
Can you win?
Probably not, but then, you know, my job is to celebrate and defend the wonders of British democracy. And look at this, eh? The fact that you're interviewing me on the Today programme because all the other parties aren't standing says more about them than it does about me. Are they running scared from old Binny, or do they think that Nigel's running a cunning stunt? And I pronounced that carefully at 8:55 in the morning.
Do you now, moving swiftly on, call on Kemi Badenoch, Sir Ed Davey, and other major party leaders to back your fight for Clacton?
No, I don't need them. I mean, they can do whatever they want. I think they're too busy trying to shore up their own positions, wouldn't you say, Nick? In the face of such trenchant questioning from you. When, of course, you're not celebrating Manchester United. But, I'm game for anything, just like I'm game for the fact that your lovely people got me on for 8:45, and I've been listening to taped bits of your debate, and now you've got me in the crazy roller coaster spot where the pips might come at any minute. I'm game for anything.
That's quite enough from you, Count Binface. Pleasure to talk to you.
I can't believe it. Like, reality is crashing in on itself. Binface can win. Binface is literally polling better than Nigel Farage. With people in the UK right now, he is more well-liked than Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage has tried to say that Count Binface is actually an agent of the establishment, and everything is so stupid now. Everything is so fucking stupid. He's gonna do it. Honestly, this is the country that got behind Bodie McBoatface. I do think that there is a very real chance that he could win. He could pull it off. I think I wanted to take a look at this.
I'm quietly confident, and it's democracy. Let the people of Clacton have their say.
Are you actually going to fight a sort of serious door-by-door, street-by-street campaign?
No. Well, why should I?
I think there's shades of zippy about Binface's voice. I've decided after listening to it multiple times today. No,
That's more John Sopel, Bungle, isn't it?
Did Bungle speak?
No, so there's nothing like John Sopel, actually. Yeah, nothing like him at all.
Bungle was very quiet, wasn't he?
Yeah, famously.
Anyway, Lewis Goodall is here. You may have worked out already. Presenter of Sundays with Lewis Goodall on LBC.
And by the way, Sheila, before I go any further, can you please... It's very, very familiar for you to call him Binface. It's Count Binface.
I know. I chastised someone else for doing that earlier on.
Yeah. Binny to his friends.
Hoist by my own petard.
Yeah.
I wonder if people will put bins on their head and go and campaign for him incognito.
Well, I mean, he's very clear that he won't be doing any campaigning. I mean, I suppose...
I do think that, like, there's the possibility that, like, this becomes far more real than he had ever anticipated.
Is Clacton a city or town? How much influence will Count Binface have?
I mean, he'll have as much influence as Nigel Farage right now, which is considerable. And I don't know what the technical term for it is, but it's a constituency in the UK.
I suppose it must be it must be nice in a sense, him going door to door, because he'll be greeted by allies outside every front garden when he sees the different recycling bins and so on, the compost bins, and they're all there just going, "Go on, mate, do it for us, do it for us, do it for the bins. We never get anything."
Yeah. Do you think, have you seen that GIF that's flying around today where Binface takes his bin off? His face covering off. And
it's like Darth Vader for the first time. Everyone's like, what?
And it's Boris
He looks
Johnson.
like that.
It's Boris Johnson underneath.
He was scarred. He was scarred on Alderaan. No, it wasn't Alderaan. Don't write to me. Yeah. Anyway.
What if it was Boris Johnson underneath? Anyway, it's not going to be.
Feels like we're having two separate conversations here.
Listen, it's a funny one, this, isn't it? Because it is actually funny, but it's also kind of weird. No one had this on their bingo card this week, did they?
No, I think we need to rip up the bingo cards, Sheila, to be honest. They're not big enough to cover the expansive array of possibilities of British politics. Because, you get to the end of the week where Nigel Farage has resigned his seat and is taking on someone made of tin. Didn't seem terribly likely, and yet here we are. And I think, look, this is... when you're right, you're rather...
like, you have establishment media attacking Count Binface now. Count Binface is no laughing matter. He embodies why Britain is in such a mess. The novelty candidate is a symptom of much deeper malaise. We don't want to live within our means. And it's just like, dog, he's a man with a bin on his head who goes around encouraging people to run for political office because democracy is important. And it relies on people being aware that they can run for political office, right? Like, this austerity politics is never ending. But notice how the austerity politics always benefits the rich and funnels, state money into the pockets of the wealthiest people in the world, but, robs the working class. People are fed up with it. And the correct read on this situation is that people are so fed up with it that they would rather vote for a guy whose name they don't know, who walks around with a bin over his head, than they would for someone who's robbing them all the time. Literally, like, one of the jokes that he makes is that, oh, well, if you elect me, I'll go and I'll save the taxpayers £380,000 by just doing nothing. And, like, the fact that he can use that talking point as an indictment is devastating for the British establishment. Yeah, it turns out instead of just doing no harm, you should be doing actively good things for your constituents.
Compass commentator, whoever you had in mind, heaven forfend, talking about the idea of, the left, it's showing something ridiculous. And sure, there is something ridiculous, but there's something ridiculous about the situation. Because what this is adverting to, and Farage should have seen this coming, is...
Also, the British love trash cans, right? Just real quick, the British love trash cans. They love them. Okay, like they love them so much that they got turned into enduring sci-fi characters beloved by everyone in the UK in the form of the Daleks and Doctor Who. All right, like, you cannot sit there and tell me that, oh, well, no one sees any charm in him when the entirety of the UK loves Doctor Who, and the Daleks are like a great addition. All of them love it. The Daleks, yeah, I'm gonna fucking say it how I say it, just because it makes you guys mad. The Dalek.
That this is a by-election which was not necessary, did not have to be called, and into that vacuum has filled this similar absurdity, right?
Farage represents a party of 5 MPs. Yeah, but he also represents someone that is the direct, he's the guy who got everybody into this Brexit mess. Like, he's been someone who's been campaigning for it for years. And so, in a sense, Labour has had their time to try and fix it, and they fucked up, and they kept making things worse and worse and worse. And then you have the severe austerity measures being proposed by the conservative folks in UK politics, and it's like, this is an opportunity to tell establishment power to fuck off, because it's been fucking people in the UK over. And I think a lot of people view Nigel Farage as kind of the embodiment of that, even though, of course, Labour does share quite a bit of the blame with what's been going on in the UK.
And I think, look, what Farage was trying to do at the start of the week, we discussed it on the day that it happened, what he was trying to do was neutralise the idea of there being impropriety with his financial affairs. And he was trying to wrest the conversation back towards...
Has America found wheelie bins yet? Like trash and recycling bins that you can lean back onto wheels?
It's pronounced DLX.
Ah, DLX. DLX. I love the DLX in Doctor Who. Thank you, anime sidekick gal. I'm so glad I finally know how to pronounce it properly. The DLX are so good. Thank you for the $5 super chat.
Because he was afraid that he was losing momentum. He clearly, I think, in his own mind at least, got the Trump 2024 example in his head. And if you talk to people around, reform, that's what they'll keep coming back to. They'll say, Lewis, never underestimate just how much the media is despised. People hate the establishment. They'll use this as an opportunity to stick 2 fingers up to the establishment. Okay. Now, the problem with that, of course, was this was always going to be an imperfect vehicle to neutralise the process around the alleged impropriety or the suggestion of impropriety, because so what if Clacton re-elect you? That's a political decision, so sure, but there is a process decision which goes on in terms of the rules of that.
Oh, well then, in that case, I can't give a duck. Yes, America has wheelie bins. I've had wheelie bins my entire life.
House of Commons that will be ongoing irrespective of what happens with the by-election. It was problematic for a second reason, which is that it is not clear necessarily.
Yeah, it's true. The proper pronunciation is Dr. Wu.
It's pronouns Lex.
Lex. I love the Lex. Thank you for the $10 Australian, Matthew H.
Necessarily that the people of Clacton will really understand why it is that they've been forced to the polls again and why it is necessary for them to vote. And
I'm sorry. I know I'm being incredibly obtuse, but it's very funny.
The third problem, of course, is this. So I don't think that this is going to neutralise his problem around his financial affairs. And I think that the way it's gone, which I think probably was predictable, is creating a new problem for him. I don't think he's just got a problem around his financial affairs at this point, Sheila. I think he's got a potentially really significant credibility problem. He is going to be spending the next 6 weeks, while Sandy Burnham is getting on with the business of government, fighting it out with a bin. And that the problem with for Farage is he's usually got a really sure political touch and a sense of where the country is and how things are going to...
Dulex.
Ah, the Dulex. I love them. They're such cool, silly little guys.
Play out. I think the problem with his position, he himself has put himself in...
Are there hot people at the by-election? Always.
Is that at the start of this year, what Reform wanted to do was expand their appeal. They wanted to make sure they were not just hitting 20% or 25%, but 30%, 35%, maybe even higher. To do that, they had to assuage and assure voters who had previously been a bit sniffy about Farage, a bit uncertain about Farage, thought that maybe he's a bit eccentric, a bit fringe, a bit odd, a bit out.
Okay, bye Matthew H. But
Victor
I do know how to
Marx
pronounce
was always
it.
going on about advancing
Daleks.
the dialectic through his spirit karate.
It's true. Victor Marx, Doctor Who's strongest foe. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. The only thing powerful enough to oppose spirit karate is Cajun karate. I just, I think Victor Marx would be someone who would get a visit from the doctor. It's true.
There may be even a bit extreme that he wasn't that he was a prime minister in waiting. You know what prime ministers in waiting don't do, Sheila? They don't spend the month of July and August arguing with something that you put in your garden. That does not happen. And the worry is, for Farage, is that this reaffirms and reasserts all of those worries.
Yeah, dialectic materialism, for sure. 100%. You guys got it.
That were in those voters' heads to begin with, and they just think, you know what, this guy, he's saying he's the Prime Minister in waiting, why doesn't he act like it?
Also, I noticed in James O'Brien's slot this morning, when Robert Jenrick was standing in for James.
Sure that went down well with the audience.
Well, that his argument, with some of them it did, but not many. His argument was that, and I'm not buying it, but I'd love to know whether you've heard things I haven't heard.
Karate related to spirit science.
That's a secret that only those who have unlocked their clown chakras will know.
His argument was that long before Tuesday's announcement, MPs and parts of the media were pushing for a by-election in Clacton. And I don't remember that. I do remember I've had a couple of conversations with people, possibly yourself, saying if he gets sanctioned to the tune of 2 weeks suspension from Parliament, that can lead to a recall and therefore a by-election.
If the doctor changed from male to female, does that mean he's transgender? I mean, I would say that the doctor transcends gender. I think technically the answer would be yes, as we understand it.
I didn't call for one. I haven't heard you call for one. I certainly didn't hear...
I think there should be by-elections every week, but I'm not just talking about his constituency. I think it should happen at random.
But he was claiming MPs were calling for it and are now too chicken to stand. They didn't.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure some MPs probably did, but the fact is that there was a process that was ongoing with it. And look, Farage has chosen to try and get ahead of that process. That's his prerogative. He thinks that a political absolution via Clacton will just wipe the slate clean, tabula rasa, and just basically...
He did, though. There is a lady doctor. Yeah, I'm saying that, Doctor Who is trans.
Go, right, we're moving on now. Of course, he might will that, and he might gamble that has happened, but there's no particular reason that it should happen, because, as I say, that process will keep going. And look, it may well be that at any given moment that his political opponents wanted a by-election, would want another by-election. I think most of them probably meant, when they said that, if they did say it, for the process to conclude properly, so that voters in Clacton had the full facts at their disposal. Now, I happen to think that probably he's right, that Clacton, irrespective of that, it's a rock-solid Reform seat, he's got a really big profile there, generally speaking, people really like him there, that they would re-elect him anyway. But it doesn't necessarily... A democratic vote and a democratic absolution does not necessarily
change the rules
of the House of Commons. No.
But under the rules, somebody has to declare all their interests or public life interests.
Personally, I think a being that dies and reincarnates multiple times over the course of hundreds of years would be gender fluid, the final form of gender, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably close to what the Doctor is, kind of transcends the idea of a binary gender spectrum.
Before they became an MP, if he gets elected again in August, he's presumably relying on hoping that only from now to last August is taken into account.
Well, this is the problem with this sort of democratic argument, this sort of political argument, which is, on the basis of the Reform logic, there would be no rules of the House of Commons. Because everybody would have been elected. Every single MP, not just Farage, have got their own mandates. They've got their own democratic mandates from their own electorates. What's the point of having any rules? And this is actually...
There are no rules! If Reform doesn't care about rules, in the same way MAGA doesn't care about rules. Reform is out there essentially championing Nigel Farage. And they're fine breaking the rules as long as their guys break the rules. As long as it doesn't come back to bite them, they're fine with it.
I mean, fundamentally, in a way, you've got a little microcosm here of the sort of populist argument versus the kind of institutionalist one that we've become very familiar with over the years. Trump has obviously pushed this to the max as well, which is that what matters, rules don't matter, institutions don't matter. These are all just rather sort of petty constraints. What matters is democratic energy. What matters is democratic legitimacy, which is conferred on you by the voters. And there can be a clash between those two things. I mean, what I would say is that Reform are generally at their weakest when they try and import and transplant and transpose American politics and American political trends onto our own.
Into Britain,
So it is true to say that in the United States, frankly at this point, I mean, look at what we've seen with Trump this week with the personal enrichment. He's basically been bragging about, boasting about, basically saying, I'm getting rich, you're getting rich, doesn't matter, all that sort of stuff. Imagine a British politician saying that. It would not fly, right? It would not fly for all sorts of reasons. Our democracy, frankly, at this point, is still healthier than the United States in the sense that in the US, left or right, particularly with Trump and MAGA, as he himself has often said, he can do pretty much anything and it doesn't matter because politics is viewed through such a part.
I love that so much of this is them just talking about the overarching political realities in the UK after both quietly admitting that Count Binface is a real force in the modern political system.
Lens. We're probably becoming a little bit more like that over time. We're definitely getting more polarised, but we ain't there yet. And we haven't got a sufficiently radicalised bit of the population. They spend, I fear, and have increasingly spent too much time online being victims of the things that they often accuse us of in the media, of simply listening to our own people and listening to our own echo chambers. They are being bent out of shape, I would say, Reform at the moment, by the power of their own algorithms.
Interesting. Do we know the date yet of this?
No, I don't think the writ has been... It's being moved, isn't it? I don't think Lee Anderson's actually moved the writ yet.
So there's still
August 13th.
Time for people to...
I think it's now... He's no longer an MP for us, right? Because he's accepted this, Crown Office of the, this absurd thing that we do rather than being resigned. The bailiff of the Baron of Northstead or the steward of the...
Steward and bailiff of
the steward of the Chiltern Hundreds is the other one that you can't resign as a member of the House of Commons.
Can you make your own up? Could I be the bailiff and steward of Anfield or something?
Well, no, I don't think so. You could try and get them to give you another Crown Office if you like, Sheila. I don't know. I will see what's available. I don't think there's a whole list. Well, that is the ultimate Crown Office, is it? I'm not sure about what old Camilla would think about that. I think she fought hard to get that in various ways. I'm not sure she would terribly appreciate Queen Sheila coming along and usurping.
In various ways, I think we'll leave it at that. It is predicted the first week of August, 6th, I think.
Something to look forward to in the dog days.
Yeah, actually, I'm going away on my holidays for the last 2 weeks of July, so that'll be my little present when I get back.
Little presents. Nice little by-election to cover.
That'll be fun.
I really thought this video was like, this video is titled Lewis Goodall Unpacks Count Binface's Funding, and there's been very little discussion about the financing of Count Binface.
Between that, I mean, I don't know when the polling is going to happen between the Bin and Farage and so. I mean, who knows? The problem Farage has got, just quickly in terms of his legitimacy, of course, is like, if it is just him and the Bin, the Count. Apologies. Yeah. He is an aristocrat. Should be in the House of Lords, really. What is an acceptable, non-embarrassing percentage of the vote that he can win? That Farage, yeah, like 10%, 20%, 25% of the vote is what the non-conservative Reform got at the last election. But if he's getting 30 or 40%, I mean, how can you emerge from that, Farage, with your credibility enhanced, which is what he was trying to affect and achieve?
I think you're being small c conservative for the Count here.
Counts often are.
Yeah. There were around 25, did some maths yesterday when you were out. There were around
what was getting milk?
You got out, you just weren't anywhere near
went
me.
Down the chip shop.
25,000 or so votes, other than the ones that were given to Nigel Farage. So if all of them, they're not all going to vote for Binface, obviously the Count, but if they did, or even half of them did, that would be a shocker.
And you can never I mean, they're getting away, again, your commentator and what's, I mean, you know, this is the online world these people are being dragged into. I've seen tweets in the last 24 hours, Sheila, from Reform people, literally.
This is the thing. Get off of Twitter. Like, get off of Twitter. Stop being on Twitter. Twitter's terrible. Twitter's full of Nazis. The guy who runs it is a Nazi. We have empirical evidence from studies done on Twitter specifically that the algorithm literally makes you more conservative over time, whether or not you agree with conservative policies. Get off of Twitter. It's not real life, and also it sucks. It's full of Nazis, and it sucks. Get your friends to migrate over to like Blue Sky or something. Like, it's time to ditch it. It's terrible.
Saying, we need to find out who funds this guy. Lads, no one funds him. He's a bin. He's a bin. He doesn't need...
Oh, there he goes. We did it. It took 12 minutes, but we finally got to it.
Need funding, exactly. You know, he can go down the dump and the recycling centre and, you know, whatever is in his innards, like, sort of take him out his head. Like, you're being taken down a vortex of absurdity. This is the position you put yourself into. You're having to now go online and say with a straight face, ask the question, we need to get some stuff on this guy. We need to be finding out who funds him. He's nobody, and you've put yourself up against nobody via the consequences of your own actions.
Yeah, but that's what makes him so fucking powerful. Like, he's nobody. You're putting your entire political machine into attack mode to go after nobody. You just tire yourself out going after empty air, you know? And so, like, in a way, it's kind of brilliant. And it's a very strange way to see somebody break a political machine, and yet here we are, you know? Because it is all ridiculous, and he's been very, very honest and open about it. It only costs like a handful of dollars to run in these elections. It doesn't cost him a lot of money. Guys, he barely innovates the suit. You know, he built the suit, and now all he has to do is occasionally take a break from his job and spend some dollars to go around and talk to the press about his vendetta against the hand dryer machine. You know, dude is able to do it because he has no political machine whatsoever. He just shows up and makes fun of everybody and lets them kind of, like, I don't know, indict themselves.
Oh, I don't think he's nobody anymore.
Well, no, with apologies to the Count. No, well, no, he's being. I think it's fair to say that if someone's won so far this week, it is the Count's PR.
It is. On Sigma 9.
Take off that mask.
On Sigma 9.
Let's see what's underneath. Let's see who's really in there.
Thank you, Lewis.
Luke, I am your father.
Lewis Goodall. And if you plan to put a bin on your head and go camp...
Everything is so silly right now. It's maximum silly. It's maximum silly, and honestly, I'm kind of here for it. Also, just one other piece of breaking news here, real quick.
Good evening, Count.
But it's my pleasure to take part, and it's my honour to be
Welcome to my constituency.
and Saga actually with them. Yeah. You're going to be neighbours.
Yeah. Well, they are
again.
before.
We
were.
How far do you go?
Here we are again.
Do you guys go back quite a long way?
16 years.
And of course, these are younger people.
It's not big for you, it's okay, though.
It's a lovely pleasure.
Yeah, likewise. Well done. You've added a lot to the company.
Thank you very much.
Now, this all this schmoozing, of course, between him and Andy Burnham, worth noting. He's been officially endorsed.
The legends that we're here to honour have not shied away from politics in their career, but I promise you, I am not going to talk politics to you tonight, except to say this. Count Binface, you are carrying the hopes of the nation. Don't let us down.
That's right, folks. Andy Burnham has endorsed Count Binface for the Clacton by-election. Oh, everything's so silly. I just, pretty soon the entire UK gonna be voting for Binface. But not just for Makerfield. Voting for Binface. Silly but so based, right? I mean, Andy Burnham isn't gonna go far enough, sadly. But, hopefully the election of Count Binface, if successful, will allow better politics to thrive in the UK. Like, the best case scenario here is that Count Binface absolutely destroys the far right of, British politics for the next generation, which would be really, really great. Unfortunately, Count Binface did not win. Nigel Farage has prevailed. Though this does mean that investigations into his campaign finance potential law breaking will now commence, or recommence rather. And it's very possible that Clacton will be looking at another by-election in the not-too-distant future should he be found guilty of those. So I suppose his intent to delay or stop this investigation has been thwarted, rendering this entire process moot. That being said, let's take a look from our favorite bin boy, Count Binface.
To meet the great and the good of the political world. Again, I ask you to draw your comparison. Theresa May, I met her at an election. Rishi Sunak, Boris Johnson, Andy Burnham, they all came to the count. I asked Essex Police, was there any credible threat of disruption here? And I can tell you they said unequivocally no. It was safe to go ahead. So I leave you guys to draw your own conclusions. I am gratified that after this election, I have been able to sort of put the seal on it by coming to get the verdict of the good people of Clacton. I think that's the nice way to do it. I promised to be a local champion for Clacton, and I thought to hear the verdict of the Clactonites was the least I could do. And why? Because I've had over 9,000 votes, guys. Now, in Makerfield, 8 weeks ago, I got 95 votes. So against Nigel Farage, compared to Andy Burnham, I am 1,000 times more popular. Does that have anything to do with why he isn't here tonight, on a night when they said they thought they'd get over 80%? Again, I'll leave that to you. All I will say to you is what happens next. Let's all meet for part 2 of the Clacton by-election, coming soon to a leisure centre near you.
I mean, yeah, the fact that Nigel Farage, didn't win overwhelmingly, the fact that of, the, I don't know, 30,000 votes cast, Nigel Farage only got 2/3, that's pretty embarrassing. That is pretty embarrassing for him. A collection of, monsters and loonies and bins, they took such a sizable chunk of the vote that it makes him look even weaker. His plan to come out of this looking strong with the mandate of the masses is kind of undermined when you are struggling against a bin. You know? Anyway, I do want to take one last look. Let's see Count Binface's Clacton victory speech.
Hello, humans. Well, a new dawn has broken, has it not? Literally, because it's past 6:30 in the morning here in Clacton-on-Sea. And I can officially say that I am the winning candidate of the candidates who bothered to turn up for the results. That's right, 9,455 actual votes. Just 8 weeks ago in Makerfield, I got 95. That means I've got against Nigel Farage 10,000% more votes than I got against Andy Burnham.
And I do want to point out, Nigel Farage did not turn out for the results at all. So, Count Binface is able to make this joke.
What does that tell you? Well, it tells you that Nigel, who said that he didn't want to be humiliated, maybe has been. As for me, I'm over the moon, I'm over your moon, I'm over my moons, and what comes next, well, we shall see. But you know what? We know this for a fact. Over 1 in 4 people in this constituency would rather have Count Binface as their MP than the leader of Reform UK. And I'm just getting started. So where do we go now? Well, the first thing you have to consider is, I promised to be a local champion for Clacton people, and I thought the best thing I could do was to turn up and get my verdict from Clacton's people and to stand with the other candidates who all behaved themselves impeccably until after the result. But yes, that was my view. And of course, the next question is what happens after this? Well, we will find out. Stay tuned for part 2 of the Clacton by-election, coming soon to a leisure centre near you as soon as that parliamentary inquiry reports. Bring it on!
I actually find it even more charming that he practiced this in front of his own camera before he went in front of like the mainstream press cameras. Like he actually wrote and rehearsed this speech. It's actually wonderful. Wonderful stuff. Well done, Count Binface. We hope to see more of you in the not so distant future. So yeah, now unfortunately Clacton is represented by, a guy who wants to, increase the number of police, create a task force to violently expel immigrants that he doesn't like, and to deport immigrants that are deemed potentially undocumented to third countries like El Salvador, the country that enslaves people in their prisons. And also, wants to make the country more bigoted, more hateful, etc. While cutting taxes for the wealthy and, making sure as much pollution as possible is pumped into the environment. So, that's what Clacton has voted for, and that's what they'll get until that investigation by Parliament is concluded, and then maybe we'll have another by-election in Clacton. So, we'll see what happens. Good job, everybody. Anyway, got anything out of this? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think about all this. The only way to stop stuff like this happening in the United States is to get organized. And honestly, organizing is the answer regardless of where you are. If you're in Canada, if you're in the UK, getting organized is the way that we are able to move forward with ideas and policies that help everybody and not just, the wealthy elites. So, if you're interested in doing that here in America, join your local DSA, join your local Dems. If you need help doing that, you can join our Discord, reach out to GamerG for help joining DSA, reach out to Dragonfly for help joining your local Dems. And last but not least, check out ImogeneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes, tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. It is comfortable, sexy, non-tucking
You
lingerie.
glossed over the best part. Not only did the Count get the highest vote total for any joke candidate in parliamentary history, But he got his deposit back.
Wait, he got his deposit back? That's wonderful. That means he can run again! Yay! 1,000 years of Binface! Let's go. I do like that. Thank you for pointing that out, Sake Tanuki. That space alien deserves all his deposits back. And anyway, keep on going.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube is where she streams. All that content is bursting the scenes. Politics, gaming, and plenty more. Her sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack. Riverboat